And I've arrived! Yay! Technical difficulties. Hi Dee, hi Sue. Sorry there was no sound. We were trying to get it to work, so you know, we leave the microphone off while we discuss it and chat about why it's not working. So today we're going to be coloring this adorable Thanks Hug Me Altenew stamp, and we're going to be using our Gansai Tambi watercolors. So we're going to use those to color today. So that's my plan. If you want to grab this little stamp right here, I put a link to all this stuff down in the description box, and you can head over there and grab some and color later too if you want. So next week we are going to be coloring this cutie. This is Squidgy and her teddy. Isn't she cute? We're going to watercolor her. This kit is still available in the store. If you want to get one, I will put a link. I don't think I put a link down there in the description box, but it is over at the store if you want to go grab one. And in the card kit, you get a piece of watercolor paper and you get a piece of Nina paper. So you can decide whether or not you want to do watercoloring or Copic coloring, and you get a picture of each of those in your kit along with the instructions so that you can do that. Last week we did a drawing for this cute little Henry image, and the winner of that was Linda. So Linda, I will drop this in the mail to you, and hopefully it'll get there in a couple of days. I would love to see what you do with it if you make something cute out of it. So that's our plan. So let's see here. Let's move some of this stuff. We don't want to have all that out there. Okay, so we're not going to do a giveaway this week because I only had a couple of people decide they wanted to check out that cute Henry guy. So we're going to give it a break, but I will be back with another giveaway soon. Hi Trish, thanks for joining me. And Teresa, hi Teresa. All right, so we're going to start out. This little cutie here has this little background thing here. We're going to do that first so that it can dry. So I'm going to grab that. Put some of my stuff away here. Okay, so for that, I'm going to go out. Sorry if it's a little shaky there. Okay, so for that, I'm going to use a piece of acetate. Let me move my little card here because I can see me just making a huge mess with that. And I have too much stuff. Let me move some more stuff. Mike's downstairs monitoring now. He was fixing the technical difficulties. Okay, so for my little splatter, I'm going to use this Cracked Pistachio Distress ink. Wipe this off. Got a little fuzz on there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just stamp a little bit of this onto my ink pad, or my little acetate sheet. Like so. So there's a little blob of it on there. And then I'm hoping this is the color I picked last time. I couldn't remember what color I picked, so this is the color we're going to use this time because I can't remember which one it was. I'm going to kind of wipe this around with my paintbrush. And then I'm just going to flip it over. Like so. And smoosh it on there. Okay, and I might have to give it a couple of smushings, so let me grab my ink pad again, because that doesn't seem very dark. But I'm thinking that it was the same color. That looks pretty close, so I guess I picked the right one. Try adding a little less water this time. I'll just use my paintbrush to kind of swish it around here. And then let's try putting that on here. We'll pick up that big blob that I left and move it around here a little bit. All right, so we're gonna go with that. That looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to set this over here to dry, and after my little spots are dry here, I'm going to attach it to this piece, and then I'm going to stick something heavy on it so that it will flatten it out. But in the meantime, we are going to color this cutie. So let's see here. Let me get my paper towel. So when I watercolor, I usually have a paper towel, my paintbrush, and today I'm going to use this silver black velvet brush in a number 6. I have a couple of jars of water, one for washing my brush off and one for clean water. And then we're going to pick some colors here. So we want our fox to be brown. So I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm thinking number 46. So I'm going to go ahead and get some colors. I'm going to get them, grab them out of my thing here. So I'm going to do 46, 47 for later. And then we want some red. So let's do 32. They're kind of hard to get out. 32. Yellow, so let's do 43. And then we got a green one, so let's go 53 for the green. This one comes with some of my hair. Let's get that off there. Blue, how about 66? That's a pretty one. 66. And then purple, so let's do 38. And where's 38? How come I can never find 38? It's always hidden somewhere. Okay, so those are the colors we're going to use. And I always recommend if you're going to do watercoloring and you have a set to swatch them out so you can see what color they are when they're dry. Okay, so we got all this stuff. Okay, I'm going to zoom down a little bit. So what I usually do first is I'm going to put a little bit of water inside of, just a little drop of water onto my paint. Just to get it started. We're not going to need a ton, so you don't need to blob a whole bunch on there. I'll put a little bit more over here on this brown one. We're going to use this one the most. Okay, so we just get it started there with just a little bit. And I try to keep my watercoloring as simple as possible. So let me go. I'm going to put the paint over here on this other side. So hopefully my arm going back and forth will not mess with the focus too much if I keep my hand over here on the side. Okay, so let's see. We're going to do red, yellow, blue, or green, blue, purple. Let me get my balloon colors straightened out here. Okay, so I've gotten my paintbrush wet, and then I dab it off on my paper towel. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of this brown. And let's start down here on his tail. So I'm just going to brush that on here. And then I'm going to wipe that excess off. And I'm going to get a little bit more paint. So I'm going to get my brush wet, and then I'm going to wipe it off. And then I'm going to use that water on my brush to bring this color up here towards the top. You can also get your brush wet, dab it off, and then get your person or your item wet. So you got a little bit of water here on your image. Move my paintbrush over, or my water bucket over here a little bit. So I'll get my paper wet. And I usually go till it's got like a little bit of a shine on there. I don't know if you can see that on the... You don't want it to pool, but just be kind of shiny on the paper. And then we'll pick up a little bit of paint. and put it on here, and then we're just going to brush it this way. And I want it to be lighter over here, so I'm going to wipe my brush off. So I'm going to dip it in my water, wipe it off, and then we'll bring this over to this side. And then we'll do his arms. So let's go ahead and get those wet a little bit. I'm going to do his little legs down here too. I got a little crazy, I ran out of the lines there. That's one thing with watercoloring, I'm always going out of the lines. I'm not an expert watercolorer. Hi, Jada. Okay, so I've cleaned my brush off, and I'm going to come up here and use this, the paint I put down, to wipe down towards the bottom. Oops, see, I went on the lines. And for that, clean my brush off, and I'll just get this wet, excessively wet in here, and then use my paper towel to dab it up. Oops, I got crazy with my dabbing there. That's okay, we'll come back. Okay, let's just face now. So again, I'm going to just get it wet so it's shiny. And if I have a little too much on there, I'll just grab my brush off or dry it off a little bit and then sweep it back up with my dryer brush. And I'm going to do this side too. And I'll come in with just my water on my brush and brush this towards the middle. I got quite a bit of water right here, so I'm going to go ahead and dab it off, pick it up with my brush, and then dab it on my paper towel, because we're going to give it more than one layer. Made a huge mess right here. Let's see if we can pick that up just a little bit. Luckily, we're going to cut him out, so that won't really matter that much. All right, so now I'm going to let this dry. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add some color to my balloons. So let's start over here on this edge, and I'm going to make this one red. So I'm going to get it wet. And then pick up some of my red. And then I want it to be darker down here. So I'm going to put my paint down here. And then wash my brush off. And then we're going to go up. Okay, we're going to let that dry. And then I'm going to skip this one because I don't want to touch this one and get paint mixed together. So we're going to do this middle one. And I'm going to make that one green. And then we'll skip one, And we'll do this one. And I'm going to make this one purple. I'm going to rinse my brush off. And then we're going to drag this up to the top. Made a big mess. Okay, we'll come back and fix that in a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go down here. You guys going along okay? How many of you girls are coloring, are watercoloring today? Oh, honey, camera down. Okay, let's go down a little bit more. Okay, and oh, I got to go check something else, so just one second. Let's put this down here. And Facebook. Hi, Amy! Evidently, Facebook chat is not working on the other thing today. That sounds about right. Okay, so is this closer? This is better? The Facebook one has the same picture at the front as when I started. I'm assuming that it's not like that now. Hopefully. Maybe. No one knows. Is the video running, guys? Maybe. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. I don't know if it's working or not. I guess you'll let me know if it's not working. So, oh, there, Mr. HobbieHaven's piping in. Okay, so there we go. All right, so I turned the camera back up so I can see what's on the screen. So I guess it doesn't really matter if I can see what's on the screen. Who cares what that looks like? Okay, so let's go with. Oh, someone else has joined us. I'm going to totally butcher your name. So it ends with flower. Hello. All right, so let's go ahead and let's add a little bit more color to our little guy here. So we're going to pick up some more of this brown. Got a little too much water on there. But up here I didn't have enough because it looks really dry and cakey. So I had to get a little bit more on there to spread it out. And let's bring this clear over here. Oh, there, he looks much better. Whoops. And I just continue adding color until I get it the color I want. And let's hop up here and do Sue, Halloween. Good job on sending out Halloween cards. I should probably do that. I haven't done that either. I'm very bad. Amy, what's next week's card kit? Next week's card kit is going to be, and what did I do with it? We are going to do this cute little girl here. And let me see if it's in screen. I gotta go check. We're gonna do this Squidgy and her teddy next week. So if you haven't picked this up in the store, it is still available. We're gonna do the watercoloring, but the kit comes watercoloring paper and Nina paper in case you want to do Copic coloring instead. So this is next week's kit. Hop back down. Okay, there we go. All right, so now let's go up here and I'm gonna let this dry. Oh, let's add some more to his face too. He looks like he could use some more. And I'm thinking my paint over here, I need to put a little drop more paint water in here. It's looking kind of sad. Okay. I don't think I need it to be that dark in the middle, so I'm going to wipe my brush off and then just bring water in and use that to go in here to the inside. And then let's go up here and we'll add some water to our other balloons and we'll start those. So let's do this one right here for next. So I'm gonna get it wet and then I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this yellow. And I'm going to kind of push this down into the bottom here because I want it to be darker down here at the bottom. So I'm going to push this down this way, and I got a little fuzz on there. Let's get that off there. So it pools down here at the bottom. And let's get this one wet. And this one we're going to do blue. That was a cool effect when the water hit it and it pulled it up this way. What do you girls think of that? All right, so let's see. I don't want to do any of these that are too damp up here. So let's give this a second to dry. And I'm going to hop over here and we're going to glue our little piece together real quick. So let me set this over here. Go up. So this piece, it's pretty dry. It's got a little bit of a wet patch still right here, but I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on the back. So let's put some glue. And I usually put it on an extra piece for the back just because it gets a little warped from the water on there. It's totally up to you, but this for me helps it flatten back out and smush together. Plus it pops it up a little bit without having to use Pop Dots. And we'll just pop this one on top. That way this piece can be drying while we finish our painting. And then what I do is I take my acrylic block and I set it on here, and then I set a really heavy cup on it. So I'm going to set it over here on the side. on the acrylic block underneath of it, and then I'm going to put my cup on top of it to hold it down. That helps it dry flat. All right, let's go back down here and we'll finish our little dude up here. Okay, so I want to, let me see. That one's still a little bit wet. And so is this one. Let's add a little bit of brown down here to our face down here. So for that, we're going to use the darker brown that I picked out. That's a little dark. I think I'll lighten that up with some water here. And then I'm also going to add a little bit down here onto his tail. And I think I'll do a little dab on his nose. And then let's do a little bit here on his neckerchief bandana. So that I'm going to do red. Uh-oh. So you must wait for it to dry before you add that, because here now his face is all red. Good job, Heather. There, we'll just dab that right up. See how great that was? I just picked it right back up. Don't know about that. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry and then I'll put some more brown up here. You can also go in, if you wanted to, and add some brown onto his face too, or onto his body down here, some of this darker brown, and mix them together. So you got a little bit of shadow more on this side. So let's put a little bit of our brown on there. That gives him a little bit of a dirty look on that side. Let's add a little bit up here on his face too. That looks kind of cool. It looks like he has a 5 o'clock shadow. All right, so we're going to go up here and we're going to add some more to our balloons. So I'm going to grab some more of my red. And then we'll move on to our green one. And don't forget to do this little thing at the bottom of the balloon. And purple. See, not an expert watercolorer, but it's fun. Okay. He is looking pretty good. So we're going to have to let this dry a little bit. So let's go down. Is this dry? Pretty close. Here, let's wave him around a little bit. So we just go like this. Wave him around. This is the instant drying. And then we can do a little bit on his bandana. You can also use your heat tool if you're inclined to get that out. A lot of times I'll color something and then I will just wander off and then come back and color more after it's dried. So 10 minutes or so and go do something else. If you're like me, you have a million things to do, so I can always find something else to do while I wait for it to dry. It's not that big of a deal for me. But I have like 2 billion things going on at once. Okay, let's see here. I'm thinking I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to this little yellow one here. You can also, if you want to darken this up, you could add a little bit of orange. So let me grab that. So I'm going to grab number 33, if I can get it out of the container. So we're going to grab 33, and we'll add a little bit of that orange right here at the bottom of our yellow balloon. And that will darken that up. All right, how about this little blue one here? It's needing a little help. And this little green one here, I'm going to darken that up by taking a little bit of number 20, which is black. And some of this green. So I'm going to get my green. And we're going to put that on here like this. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of black. And let's see how this works. Whoops, got too close to my blue. Now we have a green and blue balloon. It's a multicolored balloon. So you girls are all paying attention on what not to do, right? Let's see if we can do, is this dry over here? Let's see if we can pick up some of this purple over here. I don't know if it will let me pick it up anymore. Sometimes it does. Nope. Oh no. I'm making a mess. Okay, I'm going to leave him alone before he gets completely out of control. Okay, he looks pretty good, I guess. Not terrible. What do you girls think? Is he doing all right? I could send him to one of you as a gift. I'm going to stick all these paints back in here. And I like that the paints that they have the number on the bottom, so in case you forget where they go, they have a number there for you to check. He looks like a hot mess. A hot mess, that's what it looks like. Okay, let's go. Okay, so anyway, put this over here. So that's my little guy all colored. I'm going to cut him out now. I know I didn't cut him out ahead of time. See, I'm a slacker. Let's go out a little bit. Let's see if I can maybe cut something off. That'll be fun. So usually when I cut things out, I trim off all this extra stuff. I don't know how you girls do it, but I get rid of all this first. Maybe I'll cut his leg off, or his tail. That would be interesting. And see, here's the finish. Here's the, see how much cuter he was when I was by myself and I was fiddly farting around half the day. It's free. Watercoloring is kind of freeing. You can make it look very whimsical with my going out of the lines and such. I try to be a little less precise about it and worried about it than I do when I do my Copic coloring, because that I'm like, oh my gosh, I went out of the lines. I got to fix that. This, I'm like, oh, it's watercoloring. It'll be fine. And then I cheated, and this little guy here actually does, if you want, it comes with a die. I didn't buy the die because I'm like, well, I will use it enough to actually cut this thing out, enough to pay for that die. So I decided I would just cut him out. But I think the die cuts in between the little balloon strings. I think. Don't quote me on that. But I'm not going to get that technical because that's just too much work. Fussy cutting and me are not friends. Whoops. See, I almost cut that balloon off. Okay, I want to get a little crazy. I got to remember to cut this piece off because we don't need to have all that hanging on there. That just causes a problem. Whoops. I almost cut that balloon off. I bet you girls would love that. Entertainment. Uh-oh, Heather cut the balloon off. She doesn't know what she's doing. I bet that never happens to any of you, right? You don't ever cut things off that aren't supposed to be. It was handmade with, that's true. It's handmade with love. Me as a receiver of a card, I would never call somebody up and be like, why'd you go out of the lines? I'm just ecstatic when it's something besides bills or junk mail in my mailbox. Okay. Ooh, I cut him all the way out and I didn't cut anything off. Yay! 2 points for Heather. Oh, crazy, 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 crazy. All right. Had to go hop over and check Facebook to see if anybody was talking over there. Let's hop back over here. Okay, so we got that. So let me find my little piece here that I was smushing. And I love it. It is, go up a little bit more. So because I smushed it, look how flat it is. It works almost every time. I love that. The little extra piece of paper and the smushing for 10-20 minutes and it's just, ta-da, it's all flat again. So I didn't do anything too spectacular. I'm just going to attach this to the front of this little gray piece. And I think this is, I don't want to say date swirl, but I don't think that is it. I think it's maybe fig something. Fig swirl. I'm unsure. But I put a link to it down in the description box. It's really pretty and it's not too dark. I like it that it's kind of a just, it's not white, but it's kind of like an off gray color. So it adds a little color. Night. Have a good night's sleep there in Finland. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. And because there's two pieces, it kind of makes it pop up just a little bit. I always like that. Anything but bills and junk mail. Exactly. Okay, next, we're going to put this little thanks sentiment on there. And this is also an Altenew die. Whoops. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. And you could use your quickie glue pen. I didn't think of that, so I'm just going to put this on here. Uh-oh, somebody was calling me. I had to see who it was. It was only Ashley, so we're not going to pick that up. We'll let Mr. HeathersHobbieHaven deal with her. That's my daughter. Okay, so now let's put this right down here. And this works good too if you had a little extra ink. I did that last time where I had a little blob over here on the side that I didn't really care for. I just covered it right up with the saying. And you could also take and put your acrylic block back on here and smush this down so that it lays flat and it sticks real good. I'm just going to give it a little smushing. And then we're going to use some pop dots on our little guy here to pop him up. These pop dots are always giving me such a hassle. I don't understand why they're so, this paper on here is so complicated to get off. Before I thought it was because when I had my nails done, I thought it was just complicated to get off because I had those nails on, but they're still complicated. Okay. Then I'm going to make him stand on this little N. like so. What do you think? Is it acceptable? I could send it to somebody? Maybe. Maybe not. All right, so that is our card this week. That only took longer. I think I just messed it up more than anything else, but he turned out pretty cute. I'm pretty happy with actually how he turned out compared to the original one. I actually think I'm liking this one that we did today with the darker colors over here on the side more than I'm liking this one over here that I did before. And I'm kind of liking the blues up here on, or the green on this balloon compared to this one, how it kind of feathered out over that way on the balloon. I'm kind of liking that. And I could, I guess, have added a little bit of that black over here on this one to make it a little bit darker, but I think it's okay. Not too bad. Sue's going to take it. Okay, Sue. Actually, what's going to happen to these little cards is the first 2 people who place an order this week, I'm going to put it as a thank you in their order. So if you're planning on picking up the new next week's card kit, Squidgy and Teddy, it's going to end up in somebody's order. The next 2 people that order are going to get those in their kit. I try to put a little card in there to say thank you, or sometimes I put, if we're doing like this card, sometimes I'll put one of these in there so that you can, unmade, so you can color along with me, just depends. But this is next week's card. I'll put a link down in the description box, or if it's not down there, head over to the store and it is available. It's called Squidgy and Teddy. We're going to watercolor her with Ranger Distress inks. If you would like a list of those, I posted this over on the blog with a little pin card at the bottom, so you can grab all the Ranger Distress inks. And those are still 50% off with coupon code Ranger if you want to go get some more of those. I'm trying to empty those out because I haven't used them for a while, so we need to get rid of that. So if you need some Ranger inks, go grab some. So this is next week's card. Next Thursday, 12 o'clock, don't forget. So do you girls have any questions? Or don't forget too, if you have a recommendation for the following week, I haven't done it yet, and you'd like to do something specific, make sure to leave me a comment down below or email me at HeathersHobbieHaven@hotmail.com, and I will put it on the list because I need to get that made up so that it can be on the blog so everybody can go grab whatever we're going to do. So that's what we're going to be working on. I think that's it. That's it for me. I'm going to go and decide what I want to do for Bible journaling tonight at 7:30. If you want to join me for Bible journaling, I will be here live at 7:30 Pacific time doing week 1 of the Illustrated Faith Word Nerd Devotional Kit. So I hope you guys are all having a great week, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye. Don't know where my hand is.